Curtis Calhoun here with MMA News, and my next guest is another big fight coming up on June 16th. It's Evelyn Martins getting ready to face Marina Mokhnatkina at PFL 5. How's it going, Evelyn?
I'm good. How are you? Good to see you again.
It's good to see you again as well. Obviously, we got a lot to talk about. I think the last time I spoke with you, it was right before the PFL Challenger Series, and you got that big win, obviously, and getting the contract. Just kind of talk to me, like, what has this whole year been like for you in terms of, getting into the PFL? This is going to be your third fight in, I think, like 2 months. Just kind of talk to me about what this whole year has been like for you.
Well, it's actually going to be my fourth fight because I did two fights on the Challenger Series. Then I did my first fight on the season. So now I'm going to go for my fourth fight. And it has been a great journey, a great year. I love everything about that. Everything it's happening, that the way it's happening right now, I loved it. And then it's been a great journey, great year, and I mean, it's nothing but what I asked for. I wanted to be busy. I wanted to have fights. That's exactly what's happening, and I'm just so happy with it. And I couldn't ask for more.
Have the quick turnarounds in between fights been kind of an adjustment for you? Having to, you get a win and then you have to pretty much get right back into camp and focus on the weight cut eventually and all that stuff too. Has that been kind of an adjustment, like just kind of, quick turnarounds in between fights?
I would say just a little bit. I kind of actually happening right now. I love everything about fighting and getting right back to the training because nothing actually changes for me. I train every day, being in a training camp or not. So I'm always training. I'm always at the gym. I'm always trying to eat healthy and make diets and all. So it did not change much, but obviously with the weight cut process, so short notice on such a short time between fights, that kind of changed a little bit. But now we're managing well. This time I had a like better time to prepare than my last two fights because I fought in the challenges, then I fought 4 weeks exactly right after. Then right after 3 weeks I was fighting again, so that was kind of tough, but I did it. I made it happen. So right now I had like a week off. I had time to rest, then get back to training camp, be fighting shape all the time, and then I'm just loving all the process.
What are some of the biggest things you feel like you've learned about yourself, like throughout this whole process, like having to deal with the amount of fights you've had this year, getting all that knowledge, still trying to get better in the gym, and obviously all that. Like, what are some of the things you've learned about yourself and your potential throughout this whole process?
First thing you could say is that, damn, I'm tough. I'm a tough 20-year-old girl. Not easy to beat one. But I I don't know. I mean, I've always been training. I've been fighting since I was 11. I'm used to the process, and everything I'm going through this year with so many fights, you just crazy but good, crazy good, and I love that. I love that craziness. I love to be fighting, and uh, what I've learned about myself is that I can do this. How many times they ask me to? If I'm gonna have 6 fights this year, then great. I want to go through that. I want to go through every in each process. So I've learned that I can do it at all. It doesn't matter what's gonna happen. I can do it at all.
Absolutely. And competing obviously runs in the family. I think your sister competes in IBJJF, right? Am I mistaken? Am I right?
No, you're right. You're right.
So what's that whole experience like? Because I think she was in your corner for either your last fight or the fight before that. So kind of talk to me about your relationship and how much it means to you to have her in your corner too.
It's something really great. We're so close. We're just a year and 7 months apart. We joke about up twins, but we always about it. But to have her in my corner, it's just crazy and good because I have my little sister right there, and then she just made her first MMA fight in April, right before her birthday too, and right after my fight on the season, and then I was in her corner, so it's a crazy good thing, and it means the whole world. Good at what she does, great jiu-jitsu, high level, and she knows me more than anyone else. So what's best? someone on your corner that knows you, you know. So every time I do something else, she already knows what I'm gonna go do next. And if I don't remember what to do next, she's there to remind me. And it's crazy because we are sisters, we're training partners, full-time training partners, we're best friends, and it's very cool to have her in my corner.
Is she going to be in your corner for this fight as well, I assume?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, very cool, very cool. Well, talk to me a little bit about this matchup with Marina Mokhnatkina. Obviously, she has a lot of experience, comes from that sambo background, a little bit of a tricky opponent to prepare for. Kind of talk to me a little bit about how you see this fight stylistically and how you see it kind of playing out.
Like you said, sambo background. She's a Russian girl. What do we expect about Russian, right? You just like what do you expect about Brazilians? We got some jiu-jitsu in as well. But yeah, she's a very, very well-rounded MMA fighter. I've always had tough opponents. She's no different. Tough fighter too. Been preparing good, and like I always like to say, it's that I'm 100% sure I'll be ready to fight anywhere. So if we get into the ground, I'll be ready for it. If we're gonna strike, I'll be ready for it. And she has little takedowns, but nothing that I was never saw before. And you know, I just prepared myself the best I could. Did so many that I mean, it's gonna be a great fight. And I'm expecting nothing more but a war on June 16th.
Absolutely. I got to ask you too, because I think as of this interview, I think you're in the number 4 spot in the featherweight standing. So kind of talk to me a little bit about that, because the top 4 fighters in the division make it to the postseason. So going into this fight, are you looking for the finish to get those extra points and clinch your spot in the postseason, or are you kind of just looking to see where the fight goes? Or kind of talk to me a little bit about that.
Well, I could say both ways, you know. But being a PFL fighter, it means that you have to look at the finish, because it means every round it means something. So first round it means 6 points, second round means 5 points, third if you get a finish 4 points, but if you go to decisions 3 points. So being a PFL fighter, you have to think about the finish, you know, because you have the rounds on your hands, so you got to decide what you're gonna do in that moment. Obviously, I will fight safe and but hard, because I'm ready to give 100% in each round. So it's not I'm gonna give 100 in the first, 80% on the second, and another 50 on the third. No, I'm gonna give 100% in every round, because I want to try to get that finish, you know. And so there's her, you know, who doesn't want to get a finish, you know. So, but at the same time, I'll be ready for any situation, and obviously play safe in some circumstance during the fight, but ready for anything. If the finish comes, then I'm glad for it. If not, we're gonna fight in a smart way and get the win. That's the goal.
Who is somebody in your gym that you feel like has, really showed you how to be a professional athlete, in terms of the preparation, getting ready for a fight and all that? Like, who's a teammate of yours that you feel like you've learned the most from and you kind of see as a role model in a way?
I could give an example as one of the PFL fighters we have. Like, I mean, I'm a very, very fan of all of them, but I have a great connection with Raush. He was the 2021 champion, right?
Mhm.
And I mean, his history is something really crazy, and everything he went through is kind of similar what I went through. We both fought in the same event, same other organization before, and so we have kind of similar stories. And I mean, to the PFL, he was always telling me about how the fight goes, and then even today we talk about it, and he gives me some tips. So we have so many fights during the year, right? So he tells me, look, this is a better format of training, because we're not fighting in every 2 3 months or 4. No, we're fighting in every 8 weeks. So this is how I do. I think this should work for you too. And then he always gives me good tips. So he's a guy who I talk really much and about, and he helps me really much. And then he helped me with the how to be busy in training and also not feel weak or tired, and taking care of myself, the right and the good trainings to do it. And then so he's taught me a lot already. he taught me a lot already.
Absolutely. Before we wrap things up here, what's your message to the rest of the featherweights as you get ready to fight for that postseason spot? Obviously, a lot of eyes on this fight as well. What's your message to the rest of the division as you look to get this win?
Well, I would say, girls, be ready. You have a 20-year-old girl coming on your way, hungry for the bout, and I mean, just be ready for it. It doesn't matter who's gonna be my next opponent. You know, I just want to fight, get my job done, do whatever I have to do to get to the next level again. And then, I mean, we want to be in the final, so I'm gonna be that 20-year-old girl on your way, trying to stop you. So be ready for it.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for the time, Evelyn. It was great chatting and catching up with you. I'll actually be in Atlanta for the fights next week, so I'm looking forward to potentially meeting with you. And all the best with these final few days of camp. And I'm sure we'll chat again soon. Thank you so much.
We hopefully get to meet you on that Atlanta card next week.
Absolutely. Yep. No
All
doubt
right.
about it. I appreciate the time. Thank you.